Hello, my name's Lloyd. I started a business called Unity across the globe, and the directive of my business is to get all of us out from under the oppression that we are experiencing when it comes to our food, well, our fundamental needs, and the oppressive imprint that we're leaving on the planet itself when it comes to farming and agricultural fields. I'm implementing several different facets of the agricultural field into one model. And these models I'm looking to mass produce across the United States and take globally. Now, when I say several different facets, I'm referring to water harvesting, electricity harvesting. We'll be rotationally grazing. We'll have no-till farming. We'll be composting on site. We'll be doing several different things. We'll also have a packing and processing plant on site as well to circumvent some costs that. So I'm not sure if anybody knows, but the processing industry has been marking up costs of all the goods that they don't even grow that are obtained through farms. They're marking up the cost approximately 80 to 85% before they hit the shelf. And that's not to cover overhead cost, that is to line pockets. We don't need to be in this situation. There's a lot of greedy people out there who have us in this situation, and I've been educated over the past 3 to 3.5 years through YouTube. I'm a YouTube scholar. Anyways, I've been educated on this stuff, which didn't even interest me in the first. At first it didn't interest me. I didn't even know why I was diving into it, watching all these videos. I feel like God kind of led that. I've been in construction my entire life, which I'm also implementing several different things from the construction fields because of everything that I do. Roofing, siding, gutters, windows, doors, floors, waterproofing, plumbing, so on and so forth. So all of this stuff, I'm implementing several different systems from the agricultural field and the construction field that all come together in these systems to work as a collaborative whole, which will repair the land and give us the rights that we were born into this world with, the rights that God intended for us. And man likes to leverage over us. These models that I build, they will be relinquished. The majority ownership will be relinquished to the community as a whole. I'm not talking about government involvement. I'm talking about a community as a whole. Everything will be voted on. Anything that they want to do with the systems, as long as the directive stays the same. Otherwise, it will revert back to unity across the globe until the right people are in place. However, that's majority ownership. We will retain partial ownership for growing this quicker and further. But yeah, this is to get everybody out from underneath all of this oppressive action that is going on right now. And with these agricultural models, I'm implementing the concepts of Alan Savory, concepts of Bill Mollison, concepts of Joel Salatin, and so on. There's so many different people, and I like I said, I've been watching this all on YouTube, taking notes, learning, studying, reading articles, doing everything that I could to put together this plan. And right now, I don't even have the full plan written out. I only have 19 pages, and there's approximately 20 to 30 more pages that will be coming out of in regards to this. Anyways, to get into it, the water harvesting aspect of it. Now, we want to do several different things with the water harvesting. Firstly, we're going to be getting land that is deemed as desertification, meaning that there's all the resources are depleted on this land. And we're going to add our systems to this to not only regreen that land, but cut down climate issues that we're involved in right now. I'm not sure if anybody knows, but approximately 2/3 of the Earth is deemed as desertification because of the systems we've been running with. Whether it be a lack of knowledge in those areas or whether it be just somebody not caring and looking for the quickest way to earn a buck. Irrelevant. What it's doing is very relevant, though. So my systems that God has kind of brought together through all of the knowledge that I had and all of the knowledge that He's had me learning, will go up against these. Not only will they fight hunger issues as well, not only will they lower import exports and transportation fuel emissions, not only will they add a low income program to it. This is all part of the low income housing and low-income housing and the wildlife rehabilitation center and the animal shelter are all part of the second one, which would require 40 acres for that. That's the second stage, and it'll all be together as as one big model. That's what I'm referring to as one model. And to go to the farm, here's the water harvesting. We're going to be digging irrigation trenches around the whole perimeter of the farm and throughout the farm that lead back to what are called aquascapes. That is a coined phrase and a name of a business. I'm even going to be using their material too. I am not promoting for them. I'm just saying that's one of the things I've been learning as well. So we're geared toward maximum efficiency and zero waste, and totally organic, no chemicals whatsoever on our farms. So with the irrigation trenches, they will be around the farm, throughout the farm, and leading to these ponds. 30,000 gallons rec pond above ground, fully stocked with fish and aquatic plant life, and so on. And then underground, underneath this pond, it would be approximately 20,000 gallons of a reservoir. Everything would be circulated to keep things from stagnating, which involves a waterfall of sorts, so it'll be pleasant to the eye as well. But this will circulate and aerate the water. And we'll have a skimming area too, so any debris that gets on top will all float to that area and be easily cleaned out, maximum efficiency. So these ponds are lined. So the saturation of the water will not get into the ground through the ponds, but through the swales and the trenches and other means, we will have water saturating into the ground, which will in turn be adding to the water table. And then we will have an overflow that naturally sheds the water from our perimeter trenches, naturally sheds it to surrounding properties. So to top our system off, we will have a well that is drilled off of each pond, approximately 100 feet, that we will top our systems off when needed, if needed. And once, I say if needed, because as this grows and as we get more roots in the ground and more water into the ground that's saturating, the water table rises. So that means that it's not evaporating so quickly and becoming of no use. That means that the soil stays moist longer and less water is needed as we go. Maximum efficiency. So with that said, these trenches that are leading into these ponds will not be lined. They will be saturating into the ground and just leading the water into the ponds. And the swales will be doing the same things, which will not be tied to the trenches, but will be a standalone type saturation system. So the perimeter, the trenches, they are going to be set up as a waterproofing style trench. So if you get an interior tile system, it is a 4-inch perforated pipe that is surrounded by gravel and buried, essentially, to where the water drains into this system and then gets diverted into a basket or back into the interior tile system and then pumped out and or goes into the ground tap for your sewage. Anyways, this will all lead into these trenches will all lead into the ponds. That's what will feed the ponds throughout the whole system. We'll have permanent structures like in our fields where we're rotationally grazing. It'll be chopped up into paddocks per plot per herd. So we will not be mixing our herds because we want full blood herds, which is another facet of the business that I'll get into maybe in a different video. But we'll be doing goats, sheep, pigs, and chickens because of the turnover times and the cost to get them going, but the impact that they'll have. It seems more efficient to get the product or the models going with these breeds. We will have 2 breeds of goats, which will be separate. We'll have 3 breeds of sheep, which will be separate. We'll have 2 breeds of pigs, which will be separate, and we'll have chickens, which will be separate. 2 breeds. Now, with that said, each paddock will have permanent structures, and these structures will butt up to 2, sometimes even 3 paddocks, depending on how we got it laid out. And the release of the animals will be controlled through gates in these structures. The roof will have a natural watershed, which will tie into the irrigation system, and it will also have a grid system for solar panels. Which will tie into a storage, a battery storage system, but the ones in the field will supply the structures themselves. When we get back to like the main ground where the house is, the processing plant and store and all of that, all of these structures will be tied into a main storage that will not only supply the electricity needs for these buildings, but also be able to be sold back to the city. So we'll have a generator hooked up to that, and we'll have a city tap hooked up to that. Each of these will be ways of topping off our system, and then our system surplus will then be sold back to the city. Another source of revenue, maximum efficiency. So with these permanent structures being tied into the irrigation system, that will all flow back into the ponds themselves. The bilge pump will be underground right off the side of the pond, and that will have a manifold right there controlling sectors of water. So water can be sent to any area on this land. That's 40 to 60 acres, any area on this land. Now, there's a lot of construction terminology that I could get into for that, but yeah, I'm designing all these systems. I'm using already designed systems and bringing them together and designing my own high efficiency system. I guess you can say it that way. Anyways, so as per the washing of the produce, that will be done with the water from the ponds too. And the water from the ponds, just to say, we will be testing it regularly to make sure that there are no pollutants, and that when it's used, it is not going to contaminate our stocks, not going to contaminate our plants or anything else like that, or give anybody else any kind of worries down the line in the process of consumption. So through these tests, we will stay on top of that, and if something does arise, we will have a backup plan for the washing stations. Now that will be a softener system with a reverse osmosis style from the well that from a different well. But anyways, that will that will be on a two-part draining system. So if we're using the water from the lakes, it will then be drained right back into the lakes, all of the excess water. And that'll be controlled through gateways, shutoffs, in our drains. Each one will be labeled and used accordingly. If we're using the softener system, it'll go right back into our septic field. So that's with the water system. And the saturation into the ground and everything will also aid surrounding properties. Say you have a property that has a well on it that's off of our property. The saturation that we cause into the ground of the water, like how we harvest it, that everything that saturates into the ground doesn't only feed our wells, but feeds surrounding wells. And it does have a radius where it kind of caps out, and that hopefully later on we can implement different systems to get that radius even wider and regreen even more. But it's a matter of getting the models going so we can show people exactly what we're doing. Now that's with the water system. With the electric system, like I said, each permanent structure will have a grid system of panels on top of the structures, and they'll be fed into a battery pack, which will be our storage. But then it's also tapped into our generating system, or our generator if it needs to be topped off, and it's also tapped into the city. Now this is so any power outages or anything like that, we can be totally efficient without the city type thing. And as long as we have sun, we're good. All of these structures will be set east to west orientation, just like our crops. We will have certain shaded crops that we won't really be too worried on our orientation with. But that's all in the layout of all that. So with the electric, like I said, we're going to supply our own needs, sell back, and that'll be additional revenue. Now let's go into the store and the packing plant. So the store, packaging, and processing building. I'm saying building because they're all separate areas, and there's a variety of coolers that we rotate. That will be rotating stock, and now we will be doing a food safe cert for all of this. So all of this food that we have, it will be following FDA standards and so on and so forth. Not that them standards are any good. I mean, that's another thing I don't even want to get into. Anyways, so we'll be following and complying with the rules because I don't want another Amos situation. For anybody who knows what that was about. Anyways, we'll be following the criteria there, but we will be kind of setting up as Amos was set up. So we'll allow them to do their checks and everything. However, we will not be operating under their thumb, I guess. It's a whole bunch of legalities to that, and I'll maybe even do a video on that later too. So we are going to have this as one huge building and a grid system on top, and that will be a massive watershed that goes back into our system as well. Once again, there is an overflow that sheds naturally to the surrounding properties when our system is full. So nothing is wasted. And we're going to have a store on the front of this. All of our products will be sold in that store, and local farmers can sell their goods in our stores as well. We will not be charging local farmers. It'll be like a first come basis. Whatever we have the area to support, we'll do that. We'll also be hosting farmers markets off of the front of the property, which will also be next to the store. We won't be selling our goods. They'll be in the store being sold, obviously, but as per the farmers market, that will be all of their own goods out in the open, set up as a farmer's market style, and they will not have to pay for that. Um, this is with every model. These models are meant to aid the communities and the state. When we're producing massive amounts of food that we don't have to pay all the overhead costs on, and we're eliminating costs as we go and increasing maximum efficiency as we go, this doesn't only help that state, it will inevitably trickle into surrounding areas. However, the food that's produced on our farm will only be for the state. The community first as a whole, and then the state. Um, that is to say that, okay, so let's go into the livestock thing. With the livestock that we've chosen, we've chosen them for several different reasons, not only meat, not only milk, but the products that we can create through these systems, along with our plants that are on the property. So we'll be running the livestock I've already mentioned. We'll also be running bees. We'll also have flowers. We'll also have herbs and so on and so forth, a whole bunch of different things. But the reason I bring those up, we'll also have trees and bushes for nuts and berries and fruits and so on too. But the reason I bring all that up is because all of these things work together as natural remedies. I don't really want to get into that either, but you don't have to take a pill for every ailment that you have that causes even more ailments. There are natural ways to combat these things. And we're hoping to work with local physicians so that because too much of anything is a bad thing, except for God. So we will be working with local physicians so nobody misuses any of these because some of them will be very potent. We'll also be working with local physicians when it comes to so they have a couple studies going on with some of the animals, and if it's a waste product that we're going to have, then we're more than happy to have it harvested before processing type thing. So anyways, that falls into a whole different category too. That is just another rabbit hole. Trust me, I've been down all of these and it gets pretty crazy. But yeah, so we're also going to be producing natural products, soaps, topicals, ointments, salves, balms, a whole bunch of different things. And our pest control. All of our pest control done on our livestock will be natural remedies that will be approved by scientific minds. We're hoping to work with some scientists on coming up with other natural remedies as well. That way we can turn around and give them at even a fraction of the cost to surrounding farmers. That way we can even give them our model for the development of these products. We're not looking to keep anything to ourselves. This is not about us. This is not about an individual. This is about humanity and our planet. Period. God intended it to be different from what it is right now, and I want to aid all of us in getting back to that. So anyways, man, I'm flying in the face of a lot of different things. This might get taken down pretty quick. So yeah, when we get back to the livestock, we'll be treating them naturally. So any pest controls that we use on them, it'll be done in like a dip or a spray style, but it'll all be natural remedies, and they'll be treated regularly. They'll be cleaned regularly. They'll be maintained, as in hoof care and shaving and so on and so forth, regularly. So we'll have top of the line products that are all natural, no chemicals involved. And as for pest control throughout our crops, we will be using herbs and flowers to do the pest control there. interplanting in a permaculture style, food forest style as well. There's a lot of different things that if they're all together, you see nature's footprint. You see, oh wow, this is how it happens in nature, and you start to understand a lot more. Um, these are simple systems that are implemented too. I mean, they might have an initial cost, but the cost that they save you later on down the line, it, it it's irrefutable. Like I don't see why anybody wouldn't do it. Just to have a quick buck, anybody can get a quick buck. But what are you gonna do when that's gone? So with that said, we're also going to be what did I go into? I went into the water harvesting, electric harvesting, the fact of what it's supposed to do for the climate, for the import exports and everything. That's another thing that will be cut down. Hopefully, even after these models grow, eliminated. The necessity to get our goods from another country and then waste all that fossil fuel doing it and all that money getting it, and then we have to spend all our money to obtain it in our own homes. Um, it's a system that just is not sustainable, and I don't know how it's gone on for so long. Everything that we're doing is for maximum efficiency, like I said, and sustainability. When we go into our composting system, we're going to have several different composts. We're going to have vermicompost, and we're also going to have regular composts, but we'll have different grades. The watering that's going to be happening with that will be done through our aquatic system, which is the ponds. So all the nutrients and minerals in there will be added to that. All the nutrients and minerals in there will be added to our livestock. All the nutrients and minerals will be added to our produce. And these composts that we create will not only be for our own farm, but will also be for the people in the community. And there's a lot of different things that we're going to have the government involved in because they regulate it. Um, Anyways, we're gonna have to have them involved in some of these systems just so we keep our head above water. However, we're gonna do the least amount of involvement with them as possible. And that's a gist of the first stage. Now, when we grow this to the second stage and get the second plot of land, approximately 20 acres of that 40 will be for low-income housing, homeless and low-income housing. We want to get the homeless in the area off of the streets. They will work in these systems on the farms, in the wildlife reserve, or in the animal control facilities. They'll work in these systems, and they'll get room and board and money in turn for this, so they have another chance at life. Now on that 40-acre plot, the wildlife reserve and the animal center will be there. The domesticated animal center will be there. That the reason they're on the same land is so that we can integrate those together. So one thing will help the next. Maximum efficiency again. And low-income housing, we're going to be doing it in tiny home style. So if anybody knows what tiny homes are, and container homes and earth ships, this brings a lot of different aspects into play here. So the waste that we are putting into landfills will be used in the earthship style tiny homes. The earthship style tiny homes will be set up in a way that is like there's not a lot of output revenue wise. It's more or less sustainable through through the methods that are used there. In the summer, it'll be cool. In the winter, it'll be hot. Now, when we get into the container homes and the tiny homes, that's a little bit different. That's more or less for the low income. The earth ships and some of the tiny homes will be for the homeless, though. We want to get them off the streets. Like I said, we want to give everybody the rights that God intended them to have. Um, as per the back to the waste management, that's another thing we'll be implementing into our composting system. So food waste, not only crop waste from our own farm, not only food waste from our own farm, but food waste in general through waste management. We'll be working with them to set up a spot on our plot so that we can implement these into the composting system. And as per our food waste, most of that will go toward feeds. So we'll be feeding our pigs and our goats, sheep, and chickens with what we can out of those and composting the rest. Um, as per the milk that is produced through our livestock, that is not only going to make those products, but it's also going to make a lot of dairy products that will be sold in the store. As per the wool that is produced through the sheep, three different breeds, three different quality wools as well. So we're going to make linens and clothing, socks, coats, hats, gloves, pants, underwear, shirts, shoes, even, through the hides and the wools. And all of these are going to go toward the low income and the homeless at first until that need is met, and then sold from there. So the growth of this should bring in more revenue as we go. It may be have an initial need to meet at first, but as it grows and as these needs are met, they become additional sources of revenue. Pretty soon we'll be supplying so much. We'll be supplying all these goods in such an abundance that it will not just be able to be consumed within the state. It'll have to go outside of the state. And and like I said, I do want to take these global, but eventually, that can be used for the global aspect as well. A lot of this whole model is set up for donating. So we will be donating a lot. As per the produce, all of that, 50% of that right off rip is going to go to homeless shelters. It's going to go toward the people who need it. And if we won't eat it, neither will they. It's not going to be the worst of the stock. And the worst of the stock is going into our compost. So zero waste there. But as per the goods, it's going to be the best. So whatever we would put on our shelves to sell is whatever we're going to feed these people. That's just the way it's going to be. Anyways, every one of the businesses, revenue-wise, has a percentage that will be kicked back into the community as well that it's established in. Like I said, one of these models is not only for the community but for that state as a whole. If another model is needed in certain areas, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But we're looking to take it across the United States and then get it into the entire world. Teach people these systems, and that's another thing we'll be doing. So on the farm, we will have a B&B style setup with a barn venue at the back, where we'll host weddings, where we'll so that pond that's out back with that barn style venue. We'll be hosting weddings, and that'll have a waterfall and everything like that. So it'll be very pleasing to the eye. Good environment. It'll have like cabin style setup. uh, outside of the B&B house. So anybody that's flying in for the wedding or whatever whatnot can sleep in these cabins and so on. The barn venue will not only host the wedding, but it'll also be like a hall style venue. It'll have a kitchen inside of it. It'll have a dance floor in there as well, because my wife she loves dancing, so she's going to be running this aspect. We'll also be doing photography there. We'll also be doing marketing, and she's in school right now for interior design, which was supposed to go in with our with my business that I have now. Now I'm working on the licensing there as well, because we want to teach people all of these systems. And my business, my handyman business, it's going to be a contracting business, but still labeled as a handyman business. So each one of these models will have that tied to it as well. And the people that are in place will be servicing the houses for the second stage, servicing the farm for the first stage. Any of the maintenance needs that are needed will be done through that business. Any of the interior designing will be implemented in these houses, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so we're looking to bring everything together, everything that we can together, and one thing will help the other. And we're not looking to outsource anything to anybody except for the community. We're not looking to bring more businesses into this structure in the community. We're looking to provide jobs to the people in the community, though. We're looking to provide their needs in that community. The businesses that are established in this community, we want it to be in-house. That way, not only does it grow this whole plan, but at the same rate, it's not perverted in any way. And I use that word because we're under thumbs now. I don't want any way for these plans to have another oppressive thumb on another person involved with it. I'm just done with the way of this world, honestly, and I'm sure a lot of you are too. This was a pretty lengthy video. I kind of gave an overview of everything, kind of. It's really intricate on each different facet, so I'll have to do different videos. But, oh, real quick, before the that B&B style, that will also be for the training that we'll be doing. So not only do I know a bunch about construction, but all that we're doing on that farm and the systems that we're implementing, we want to teach other people this. We want to teach other people trades. We want to have a school involved with this too. We'll also have a church involved with this as well. Each model will have a church on site. It will most likely be on the farm, so the second stage, if it's not a conjoining lot, would have to come to the farm to attend church. But other than that, yeah, this is a God-based program. He's the one who brought this to light. He's the one who's going to provide for it. He's the one who literally put all of this inside of me and had me learning all of this when I had no idea what I was doing or why I was interested. It was just not my thing, but it's become my thing. So he's going to do incredible things here, and I want to keep him at the focal point of it all. So yeah, we'll be teaching people all these systems. We'll be teaching trades. We'll be giving people things that they can live their lives with, and that's the important thing. If everybody works together, that community becomes so much stronger. And then these people who don't care about us, our families, or otherwise, will not be able to hold so much leverage over us. And we cannot worry about what they're going to do next. I'm going to let them do what they're going to do. The wicked's going to do what they're going to do. I'll tell you that. But God's going to do what he's going to do too. Anyways, with that said, if you can like, share, subscribe, bring awareness to this. We don't really have a platform set up for donations or anything. I'm kind of waiting on the prompting from the Lord on that as well. Um, when He says that's what we're gonna do, that's what we're gonna do. I did have something up initially with a GoFundMe account, which didn't really get much donations, and that was applied to the legalization of the business name and the LLC. Um, but yeah, other than that, I took that down because I felt convicted on it, and maybe that was just because it wasn't time. But I think we're getting to the time, and if He has that put on my heart again to do something like that, then I will indeed do so. And I'll keep you guys posted every step of the way. But we'll be doing how-to videos as we go, like as we're building all these systems, everything. We'll be doing all of that on YouTube and so on and so forth. And this is just to teach and learn. So your comments, they're very welcome here. I don't care if they're good or bad and ugly. Um, you got to deal with God just like I do. But if I'm overlooking things, I would certainly love somebody to step in and be like, "Whoa, if you did something this way, that's always welcome. Always welcome." None of us will ever stop learning until we're dead, right? So, yeah, with that said, I can't wait to see what He does here, and I know it's going to be big, and the sense of community that this will bring back to us as a whole, to people in general, I think that's just going to be, I mean, and what it's going to do for the earth and everything else in the mix. I just think you can't put a price on any of that. So, again, like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned. God bless.